Jeremy here from Shade Tree Vintage Auto and DD Auto Salvage in Logan, Utah. And kind of a sad day because we're going for one last ride in the Super Bee, the Fugitive. Kind of sad about it, but it's only temporary. Now we're just gonna go take it back to the shop, tear it all apart, and fix a whole bunch of things to make it better. Then we'll go for some more rides. Anyway, let's go hurry and go for the last drive. So a couple of the things that we're going to be fixing is the steering for sure, because I mean, look how much play there is. You've got basically a quarter of turn of play. Also, part of the steering box being bad on this is that, well, it's got a big crack, so it doesn't hold fluid. So it is all manual steering, but any of you guys that know power steering, when it's not working, it's tougher to turn than manual steering. So definitely have to fix that. Also have a different cluster for it. We're going to try to make all the gauges work. And if you notice the speedometer, it's all over the place. We're definitely not doing anywhere between 90 and 180 right now. Also, you can hear how loud it is inside the car. Well, there's no carpet, there's no headliner, none of that. I'm not going to put a headliner in it, but I have some sound deadener to put up here. I've got sound deadener to put on the floor as well as new carpet. We're going to seal it all up. I have an original AM radio we're going to put back in. I'm not even going to worry about hooking it up because, I mean, why would you listen to the radio when you listen to that pipes exhaust? And anyway, so it's just a lot of things that we're going to do. So, like I said, this is going to be the last drive, but only as it is now. It's really kind of hard for me to tear it apart because I really enjoy driving it, even though it's pretty sketchy right now. So, anyway, we're going to go get it parked in the shop now. The Fugitive is where it's going to sit for a minute, and here's some of the goodness for it. You got all the Calvert Racing leaf springs, PST torsion bars, lead brakes, so it's going to have power disc brakes after, bunch of QA1 parts, so front suspension is going to be QA1. You've got the Borgson steering, power steering behind there, which is going to make it a 13 to 1, I can't remember, but it's supposed to be about 3 rotations lock to lock, which is awesome. You got the Calvert Racing, the Caltrax, all sorts of goodies right there. That's going to make that car so much better, and I just can't wait. So the Fugitive is up in the air and ready to be disassembled, so I'm going to show you some of the cool parts that are going to go on to make that car so much better. First, we'll just start with the basics. So this is the torque strap that holds the driver's side of the motor down. That comes from Schumacher Creative Industries. Awesome products. I've put that on just about every one of my cars, and I'll put their link down below. They also do all the cool stuff like engine swaps, everything like that, and it's very Mopar oriented. Then Lead Brakes stepped up with their new Max Grip Light 4 disc brake kit, and it's gorgeous. It's got the cross-drilled and slotted rotors. It's got a 4-piston caliper that's actually made by Willwood. Comes with everything you see here. It's supposed to be a direct bolt-on to your original drum spindles, and I am super excited to put this on instead of use the factory drum brakes that it has now. Should make the car just stop absolutely wonderful, and I can't wait to show you guys once it's installed. And I went with the power system because, I mean, why not? Then, of course, we got the front suspension. As you already all know, I love QA1 products. Great stuff. So we're going with the upper and lower control arms. I've got the strut bars and some other stuff. I forgot to bring some of it out, so it's not here. But basically, the front suspension is going to be QA1, and it just mounts to the factory K-frame. They do have all the other kits, so you can check out QA1's website and look at all what they have. And they do things Mopar, Ford, Chevy, all of it. So really cool stuff. And then, like we mentioned in the drive, the power steering on the B is just junk. The box is actually broken and has a crack in it, so it won't even hold fluid. So we went with Borgson. And this kit is really cool. We just installed it in the 69 340 swinger known as the duct tape dart. I haven't driven it yet because we haven't put the car back together, but everything fits just perfect. A little bit of modification to your steering column to put that on, but no big deal. Down here, we've got the PST torsion bars, so that's going to help with the front. And then we're going to go out back, and you can see I've got the Caltrac or the Calvert Racing monoleafs, and then the Caltracs. So the car as a whole should be way different. It's going to drive different, handle different. It's going to be awesome. And then while we have it up in the air, since the transmission has issues in third, I'm going to go ahead and put a different transmission in it, which is down there, and new clutch, because that clutch is the one from when I got it. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. And oh boy, should it be fun. Then also we're going to do some other stuff, interior things, and just a couple of little whatnots to make it better. And hopefully we'll have it up in Shelley, Idaho at the car show middle of June, along with Walter, which we had it fixed all great yesterday, and decided, you know, why not take it on a shakedown? And I broke the rear axle. So it's back up in the air, and we're going to hurry and get it fixed while we're at all this. So, and that one's going to be at Shelley, Idaho also, if everything goes right. So anyway, follow along for disassembly and reassembly of all these awesome parts. So working on disassembly, and as you can see, I've made about as much room up here as I can without removing the header. And I don't think there's any way to bring the box up through the top unless I remove the header, which I don't want to do. So I think we are going to try to go through the bottom like I've been thinking. Hopefully all we have to do is just lift the engine up a little bit, but we'll see. It's going to be an adventure, that's for sure. So after looking at the B a little bit more, I had a change of plans. So I have this K-frame sitting up here, and this is a 1970 440 or 440 6-pack K-frame. You can tell by the 79 stamping and the skid plate underneath. So I think I'm going to disassemble this one, clean it all up, paint it, do everything, and then assemble this K-frame. And then we are going to drop everything out of the Super B and slide this one up in. The only thing I don't have here, and I'm going to look and see if I can find our set of the drum brake spindles, as the lead brakes just mount to factory drum brake spindles. So I've got to find those or rob them off of that car. Then we can, like I said, proceed and just drop that one and put this one right in place. So I have it stripped, as you can see. I did have to use some PB Blaster and whatnot, obviously. I'm going to show you something that I like to do. Anytime you use PB Blaster, it leaves this residue, or if there's grease or oil and stuff like that on the K-member or anything really, and you want to clean it up with like a wire brush or something like that, I like to actually hit it with fire and just get it nice and dry, get it hot. And especially like grease and stuff, you're kind of cooking the oils out of it. And you don't want to breathe the smoke as much as possible, but just get it nice and hot. And then when you hit it with the wire wheel, it just basically comes off like powder. Doesn't gum up your wire wheel and whatnot, or your flapper disc. So kind of just clean it up with fire. Also helps break the dust up and stuff like that. Just really easy, kind of quick. Also vacuum it all up, clean it up, all that stuff prior to wire brush, because you're just going to make a whole bunch more dust and debris if you work with all the dirt and all that stuff. But anyway, it's coming along, so hopefully we'll be able to get it cleaned up and painted here pretty quick. Back to working on the Fugitive. I've done a bunch of stuff off camera, including getting the front end almost ready to come out. There's just a few things we have to do. We have to suspend the engine, since we're leaving the engine and transmission in and dropping the K-frame, and all of the suspension is one unit. And the reason I did that, I didn't want to drain the coolant. I didn't want to disrupt the exhaust, stuff like that. And in order to get that steering box out, we would have had to lift the engine anyway, plus probably drain the coolant, or I mean, there's all sorts of different things because it's big. And since we're replacing the steering box with the new Brakes one, and everything, all of the suspension, torsion bars, everything, I just figured it might be easier to do it this other way. But I'll let you know as we film. But I'm really excited. We actually just put the lower suspension together, put all the front suspension, everything together, and you can see that in another video that the link is down below, the whole basically assembly and everything. And then we'll kind of go over some of it as we install. Anyway, I'm really excited to get going and have this driving. I need to have this running, driving, and on the road in 3 days. So we got a lot of work to do. So what I did to hold the engine up is I built this little truss system and just bolted the engine right here to this steel bar across. And as you can see, maybe, is it's actually up off the motor mounts. So the engine is suspended right now. I didn't unhook any wires, coolant, nothing like that. All we did is put this truss system in, and basically all we have to do now is just release the rest of the upper front suspension and drop the 4 K-frame bolts, and that whole front end will just come right out. So should hopefully be really simple. Once it's out, we'll pull the torsion bars the rest of the way, put the new torsion bars in, and then we're going to start installing all of this pretty stuff that I just cannot wait for. It's going to be so much better. So I've went ahead and pulled all 4 bolts. Everything's loose. We put a transmission jack under it, but it's still going to be a little bit sketchy just because of how everything moves and all of that. But we're going to go ahead and lower it. Just watch your hands right there in case it starts coming unexpectedly. Oh, it's the weight. There's more weight on the back, so it's gonna drop on the back. We might need to get a chain or something, but go ahead and just keep coming down. Seems to be coming all right. We might be stuck over on that side on the plastic. Let's go ahead and... Okay, go ahead and just keep coming down. It's just kind of stuck on the plastic over there, but otherwise it's clear. Yeah, see, it's coming now. You just want to be cautious doing this. Go ahead and just drop it now. It's free of everything-ish. Oh, the other shock, for whatever reason, even though it's all unbolted, the other shock's kind of holding it up. Go ahead and just put it all the way down, and then we'll go and just tap that with the rubber mallet on that side, and it should drop. But see, that pulls your steering box and everything. And since we're replacing all that anyway, I figured this was probably the easiest way. Then when we put the front or the new stuff back in, we're going to do it without the spindles and upper control arms, just so it's a little bit lighter and easier to manage. And hopefully that will help out. So yeah, that's basically how you remove it. So then you can see the engine is just suspended there, so we didn't have to disconnect anything. Really fairly simple. Just got to be smart about it and cautious. And out with the old. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. So these are the little bush or grommets I was talking about. They don't fit over this, and they're kind of a hard plastic. And so you can use WD-40 and sit there and fight it. But I came up with a different solution. I've got this old Krager center cap. I'm just gonna put that in there like so with some water. And I'm gonna boil it. You know, use what you got. First we heat it up nice and hot. Let that water boil. And what that's gonna do is just soften up the rubber and make it so it's pliable and easy to use. And as you can see, the water's coming to a boil. We'll boil it for a second. Be careful so that the water doesn't come over and spill on you, because as you can see, it's boiling water. And what we'll do now is, while it's sitting there collecting that heat, put some gloves on because it's going to be hot. Gonna get it out, screwdriver, carefully so you don't spill that water. Soak it down really good, like so. There you go, simple as that. And then while we're sitting here looking at the torsion bar, just to note, there's a left and right side. These are the PST ones, so they're marked. You can see right here, there's an L. So this is the left side or driver side, then the other one's right side. I'm gonna put those letters towards the back. And anyway, yeah, so that's one simple way to do it. And I mean, most people have one of those little torches in their shop and everything like that, and water. And maybe even a center cap from a Krager wheel. See, didn't even hurt it. So yeah, anyway, just a little tip. So I am excited because we are just about ready to go for the first drive since we installed all of the Brakes and steering, QA1 suspension, the lead brakes, everything. I am just can't wait. It's gonna be a little bit sketchy because we haven't done an alignment, so at best it's there. But anyway, really excited to take it out and just see if I can notice any difference. I did bleed the power steering, and holy cow, huge difference there. The brakes feel way different. It's gonna be incredible. Anyway, so yeah, we'll go for a ride here in just a second. Okay, so we're on our first drive. One thing I've noticed with the brake kit is we put the longest arm in first, and so I definitely need to change out for a shorter arm because the brake goes down a long ways. The other thing is it's got that little adjustable proportion valve for the rear brakes, and so we need to play with that some more because when you hit the brakes hard at somewhat speed, it locks the rear brakes up down at the bottom end. So that's all just adjustments that you have to figure out and everything as you're going through the car. Obviously, like I said, the alignment is off, but it really drives pretty straight. The power steering is awesome, and even though we still have adjustments to do with the brakes, they stop really good. Like, I mean, it's really incredible. So at that speed, it didn't lock the rear out, but it stops really good, stops really straight. Very pleased with everything. We put a new speedometer in and it's broken just like the old one, except for this one makes a lot of noise. So I think we're just gonna remove it for now. Got a hesitation there, so I better check to make sure we didn't unplug few other things. So you want to hear what a blowing up 383 sounds like? Hey, let me get video. What? Doing video of a blowing up 383. Can you hear that? That's a blown up 383. I'm an idiot.
QA1 not only makes really good parts for performance, but it's really easy to hook to.
Did you get that? If your car's gonna break down a lot, QA1 makes some great product. They make these awesome lower control arms that are really, really easy for the tow truck driver to hook up to. So I mean, hopefully you're not getting towed very often, but that is a good plus, I guess. So long story short, we blew up the Super B on our way to go get content. So I didn't even make content. I was literally on my way to make content, and decided that you know, we were gonna see how fast the car could go, maybe. And the answer is the speed limit. But with the 410 gears and the speed limit, really, for video, Jesus. By the way, that's Quinn. You're gonna see him a lot more in videos, and you've seen him in some others. He's kind of strange a little bit, and right here, that's Jayden. That's one of his kids. Jayden's gonna help, and Bryce. See, Bryce is actually over here. He's actually doing the work while Quinn's standing there looking pretty. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so the Super B's blowed up. That was a lot of talk for nothing. Well, as you've seen, I'm not able to finish the video how I wanted. I wanted to go do some real world testing, show you guys the brakes and the suspension and how well it handles now. Steer's amazing. I mean, the car's phenomenal. But unfortunately, I heard it, as you saw. There's a lower end knock. So I'm gonna try a couple things later on, like with some AMSOIL stuff and whatnot, just to see if I can get that knock to go away and maybe get a little bit more use out of the 383. But I have a 440 ready anytime. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, but I do want to tell you that the lead brakes, QA1 suspension, Borgson steering, everything, this thing handles amazing. I couldn't be happier with how it drove. It was phenomenal going on some windy roads and everything. I should have had the cameras out, but like an idiot, I didn't. But that will come in the future, I promise, whether it's with the 383, if I can make it run, or with the 440. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So just keep watching, check out the playlist, and yeah, till next time.